Michigan rally. I don't have a video for this one, but I also didn't look too hard. So, Tudor Dixon, which, once again, I'm not convinced is a real name or person. But Tudor Dixon seeks a culture war in a campaign against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. This is the headline from CNN. So there's a rally in Michigan that I just played a clip from. Tudor Dixon was there. I didn't have any clips for this. Maybe if I find one, maybe I'll do it again tomorrow. But you know. Tudor Dixon, the Republican taking on Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer in November's midterm election, is turning to tactics that have worked for other Republican winners in competitive governor races as she seeks to turn the race into a cultural battle over education, transgender athletes, and more. Isn't that great? But her clash with a well-funded Democratic incumbent governor, one taking place in a state where a referendum that would enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution has emerged as a dominant issue, is showcasing the limits of those efforts at cultural appeals to the moderate suburban voters who could... What are these, like... You ever think about, like... Do the people that say, like, suburban voters, do they even know what that means? Okay, now, I ask you the next question. Do suburban voters, people that live in suburbs and vote, do they even know what suburban voters mean? Like, I'm just like, what the fuck? What is this, like, language that we have developed here to talk about politics? Suburban voters. What does that mean? Like, if you ask people what it means, they, like, will talk about, like, white soccer moms. You know, like, middle-class white soccer moms. But, like, those are not the only people that live in the suburbs. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just these terms. National Republicans have largely abandoned Dixon in the race's closing weeks, leaving her outspent and floundering in one of the nation's most important swing states. Dixon sought to change the race's trajectory on Saturday when former President Donald Trump traveled to Michigan for a rally in Warren with Dixon with other GOP candidates, including... Trump called Whitmer, quote, one of the most radical, most sinister governors in America. Sinister. It's not a movie. Isn't there a movie called Sinister? Criticizing her support for abortion rights and Michigan's pandemic-related lockdowns, the former president, echoing Dixon's focus on cultural issues and education, called Dixon a national leader in the battle to protect our children by getting race and gender ideology out of the classroom. Now, again, I genuinely ask this. Any one of these people, if you are watching, leave a comment. What the fuck is race ideology, and gender ideology? What are these things? What is the ideology of race? What is that? What is the ideology of gender? Can you describe, like, just what the fuck this is? Like, I don't think anybody complaining or concerned about these things could possibly describe what the fuck they're even talking about. Trump's attack on Whitmer as sinister is the latest in a series of rhetorical escalations by the former president. On Friday, he said on his social media website, True Social, that the top Senate Republican Mitch McConnell had a death wish after Congress approved stopgap funding to avert a government shutdown. Dixon, meanwhile, spoke twice Saturday, once before Trump and once again when Trump invited her on stage, and as she lambasted Whitmer, the crowd repeated a familiar Trump rally chant, this time directed at Whitmer rather than the 2016 presidential nominee, Hillary Clinton. Lock her up! It's gotta lock her up. For why? I don't know. For what? Gender ideology. Well, what's that? I don't know. Lock her up. Dixon, a conservative commentator and first-time candidate, emerged from a crowded primary after receiving the financial support of former Trump Education Secretary Betsy DeVos's family. The Michigan GOP megadonors funded a super PAC bolstering Dixon's campaign, and Trump waded into the race in the closing days of the primary with a Dixon endorsement that came after a handwritten letter from DeVos urged him to back Dixon. Didn't DeVos, like, resign or some shit after January 6th? Wasn't she one of the... So interesting that they're back on the same team. The Dixon campaign is seeking to get his name ID up, and the MAGA base fully engaged to close the polling gap. That is what they hope to gain from a Trump rally in Macomb County. So anyway, you can read the rest of this. It's just talking about things that we've already looked into on my channel. Is Tudor Dixon's campaign's not going well. Similarly to Dr. Oz, the National Republican Party, you know, just completely dropping her. There's a poll that came out that had Tudor Dixon at 38%. 38%. That is like, wow. Like, in a governor's race, that is like, whoa, buddy. Like, Jesus, 38%. So it's probably, and especially with all the constitutional amendments on the ballot, I would say it's pretty safe to say that Whitmer's going to win this one. But I just think that the flailing from these people, honestly, pretty hilarious. And the idea that Gretchen Whitmer is sinister, I mean, you know, sinister, I don't know. But coming from someone named Tudor Dixon, which I'm pretty sure not even a real name, you know. But I don't know, Gretchen, like, Gretchen is also, like, a weird name. Like, let's be honest, Gretchen, like, I don't, like, was she born in, like, 1863? I don't know. But either way, Gretchen is at least a name I've heard before. My grandparents had a dog named Gretchen when I was growing up, so it's at least a name I've heard before. Tudor Dixon. I don't know what that is. So anyway, there you go. The culture war, folks. Because fuck actually caring about citizens. Fuck, you know, infrastructure, clean water, clean food, clean air, clean jobs, you know, fuck all of that shit. Let's talk about racial ideology in schools. You know what I mean? So anyway, there you go.